Thank you so much. All of my fans will be like, what the heck? You look a little Jamaican.
What the
heck is that? Chicken little pocket cheese.
Oh, that would have worked.
Yeah.
That would have been better.
Speaking in tongues is not what I was going for. That was weird. All right, folks, welcome to Wholehearted Living.
Oh.
I am Benny.
I am Valerie.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Are we really going?
Yes, he
Iggy?
said to go an hour ago. Your little chicken is probably going to be the way it opens.
I had no idea. He said, let's go.
Yeah. So, hey, we are a sibling podcast, brother and sister, and our goal is to help you live wholeheartedly and also just enjoy yourself, quite frankly, with what we say.
Yes.
What am I going to say?
That's crazy what you just did.
Yeah,
there.
I just totally.
Why don't we
hooked
say
up.
hi to Iggy on that
Oh,
note?
yeah. Iggy. Hello.
Hello.
Yay, Iggy has a microphone back.
Iggy has a
I have
microphone.
returned.
Yeah.
We had guests on our show the last 2 weeks, mom and dad.
Our folks.
So if you didn't hear those, you should go back and listen to them. They're quite fun. So
my gosh.
Iggy gave
Folks,
up his
everybody,
microphone for them.
They are quite fun.
They are quite fun. I'm
And
going
you
to.
could have a croissant when you.
Valerie, are you being British?
Yes, I don't know what happened. You were Jamaican a few seconds ago. Jamaican with some kind of issue, perhaps a parasite in the brain, and then you were, and then now you are. Now you. All of a sudden,
I'm being
it was
British.
quite friend.
Do you remember the Friends episode when Chandler runs into God? What's her name?
Steve?
I can't think of her name. No. But she runs into him and he starts talking in British and she goes, Chandler, are you being British?
Oh, it's Janice.
Janice. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I don't remember that. What's Friends? Just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Anywho,
Anywho.
Hey, we didn't get to finish though that this is the podcast where one of us comes in with a subject matter and the other person is surprised. And typically the subject matter has to do with how we can live wholeheartedly.
Exactly.
But before we do that, we usually talk about Friends or, in this case, I should bring up, what's that show? The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, that's such a good show.
So I have avoided it for like 16,000 years. And we finally binge watched the whole entire season. Series. And 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Iggy, how long was it?
2 months.
That's quick.
months.
Well,
now there was several days that we were sick.
So you were able to take a lot of episodes in.
Yeah, and I kind of.
But the same thing happened to us. Now, let me tell you a little story about the Big Bang Theory. We went to go with Lisa and her husband. This was quite a few years ago. We went to the Warner Brothers studio thing and we did like just a little tour. We walked around and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we went to this one particular studio that they had the Big Bang Theory set. And she's like, oh my God, she was a huge fan or is a huge fan. So she was like, oh my God, that's where, Sheldon, blah, 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 blah. And she's going through the whole thing. And Peter and I are like, don't know. We never saw one episode. So fast forward a couple months, Peter ends up turning on Big Bang Theory. And all I could hear is this annoyingly, I could not stand Sheldon's voice. Like I'd be in the kitchen or the bedroom and I could hear his voice and going, why are you watching that? And he's like, it's so funny. So he's into it maybe 6, 7 episodes. And I finally one day sit down with him and actually watch it. And oh my God, I'm like, okay, you have to start all over because now I have to see it from the beginning. And now Sheldon's my favorite character. Yeah. Absolutely love him.
Oh, I don't know who my favorite character is.
I love him.
Sheldon is great.
I love Leonard.
But honestly, I love Leonard. I love Penny. I mean, honestly, I like them all. I think they're just, it's the classic thing, just like Friends, like we said. It's just like The Office. The ensemble is what makes them so good. They just seem to work together
so well.
And,
even when they brought on, Amy, but what's her real name? I can't think of her name, but she was just so like staccato and very, and you're just like, oh gosh, she's awkward, but she just brought so much to the show.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little sad that Rajesh, how do you say his name? Rajesh never found a girl.
I know.
That was, sorry if you were into it. Yeah. So he's
he had a lot of girls throughout.
Yeah, that's true. But he never got married. And he was always a little awkward. They did change it. They made a big stink about him changing his hair, though. That was interesting.
I remember that.
So, and then I thought he would go back, but it didn't. He kept it the way it was.
Yeah.
These are all very important things to
I know.
wholehearted living.
Exactly.
He lived
Well-
happily with the dog.
He
Yes, he
did.
always
His
had a
little
great dog.
that he let him French kiss or something.
Yes,
I'm like, oh,
yes.
God.
Oh my gosh, that show. But
Yeah.
anyway, we ended up finishing it because it was really the only show we watched for ages. We just said we got to finish.
It's our fall asleep show. It's our, like, we put it on very after we're wound down and watched our show that we really, really want to pay attention to. And then we throw on Big Bang, especially if it's like a heart jerking show that we've watched before or a little more intense. Then we put on Big Bang Theory just to kind of like get us back in.
Oh, the previous one.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, that's a coined phrase, heart jerking. I don't think I've ever heard
I don't even know.
it's a heart jerking
Just
one.
don't judge.
So it's your week this week, right?
It is my week.
So you're the one that's going to bring the thing. So should I tell you anything that's going on in my life?
You just did. You just said you watched the whole series of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, but that's boring. So I want to tell you about. So should I tell you next week about my school stories
Sure.
instead of this week? Leave everybody hanging. Everybody
Yes.
right now is freaking
There
out,
you
thinking,
go.
"Oh my God, what's
That's-
going to happen with Betty's school?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can wait. I will tell you that our dog turned 11 yesterday.
Oh.
Yep. He's as good as dead.
Oh, 2 days ago.
Look at him. He's
Gosh, that's just crazy when you think about
77 years old.
yeah.
And plus a day. That's like 3 months.
Gosh,
right?
and no gray hair. That's interesting.
2 days ago.
What do you mean no gray hair? Look at his face.
That's hardly any gray. I have way more gray and I'm not even 77.
No, but he was. I mean, if you saw him
Before, it was jet black everywhere.
Jet black.
Yeah.
And it's like, because even his coat, if you look at overall his coat, like look at his leg over there, you can kind of see these sprinkles of gray. So it's like he's not all black like he used to be.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that's really sad is where you really notice it is when like he's trying to jump on the couch and he doesn't make it and he goes boink. Or and you know what's funny is like in the morning he's fine, although you know he used to just walk up and jump up. Now he's like got to stare at it.
Yeah,
like
it's like a big
Mount
task.
Everest, and it's
Yeah.
like oh, I'm gonna do it. Then he goes for it, and then he
Exactly.
jumps, and then but
Well,
in the evening he often will just look at it like with like, well, I hope I can do this.
Yeah, we ended up, and as you know, before Buttercup passed, we ended up, she couldn't even get up the steps to come up onto the bed. So we would just have to lift her up onto the bed and then lift her up off the bed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, that's the thing that's irritating about him is that we gave him steps right over here, and often he'll stare at them and then he'll jump over them. It's like I have no idea why he goes walking up the second floor. They're all steps,
But he won't do that.
but
on
he
the
won't
couch.
walk on the steps to get to the couch. Sometimes he does, and if I help him, like I'll guide him, I'll put my arms like next to him. I won't touch him even, or I maybe touch him just to like let him know I'm there. But then he walks right up. But if I don't touch him, he's like he's like crippled. He looks like he's gonna trip. He literally looks. Doesn't he not look like he's gonna trip and fall? Oh, sorry. Is that bad? Did I just say something not PC?
No, I think crippled is
Okay, my daughter says it's fine, so it's good. So we're golden. Which I agree with you. I'm with you. I wouldn't have said it if I thought it was gonna be offensive. Golly, edit it out, Iggy. Let's just edit this whole section, especially.
Especially the boring part about your dog that you have to put your hands next to her as she walks up. Just kidding. Just
That's
kidding.
Not funny.
Just kidding.
He's 77 years
Just
old,
kidding.
and it's a boy.
I know. Oh, did I say she?
Yeah,
Oh, I've only had girl dogs, so it's like so just in me to say she
yeah.
for the animals.
It was weird because Jill was our first dog, and so when we got him, it was weird to say him, and then now I often, not often, but whenever I reference Jill, there's times when I say him. So you just get used to what you get used to.
That's right.
So it is your subject.
Yes. Do you want to know? For those of you that watch on YouTube, do you notice that I don't have my paper and pen? I'm so proud of myself. I actually used notes on my phone.
Nice job saving
and
the
it's,
tree.
you know what's kind of weird about me with my OCD thing? That all of the notes on all the shows have been in my notebook, and now this one isn't. So now I'm going to go home and write these all down in the notebook.
Oh,
so
forget
that
about
they're
the tree,
all
folks.
in
She's
the
still
notebook.
killing the tree.
I'm like, I want to be able to like still have them all in one
Or
place.
you could take a photo of all of the notes, and then
then
they
have
will all
them in
be
my
in your
phone?
notes in their
Oh.
phone, and then you wouldn't kill any more trees.
Oh my goodness.
No, she's not going to do that. You know, I'm surprised she didn't do the notes and then print them out and bring it. It's like, all right.
No.
So,
But anyway, okay, so here I'm going to ask you a question. Are you guys all ready for this?
We're ready.
Y'all ready for this?
Are you ready for this?
No.
yeah, I was going to do that too, but for some reason the
Okay,
tune.
Benny, I have a question for you.
Valerie.
Would you describe yourself as a nice person or a kind person?
Oh, wow. You're going to get into semantics. Kind or nice? Well, shoot. I would not probably characterize myself as either.
Really?
I don't
think
know.
you're nice or
I
kind?
think I am. Oh gosh, that is so hard.
It kind of is, huh?
Well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna say I'm nice.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna say I'm nice
And why would you say that? And not kind, just out of curiosity, what your
because
reasoning?
nice. I'm basing this off of strangers. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like if I'm walking into a store, I'll smile. I might even interact with them, but. And I guess I'm kind. Like if I see something that I need, like if somebody needs help, and I'll help them lift something up or something like that. So I guess that's kind. But what I don't do, I wouldn't say I'm kind overall because to me, a kind person is like actively always looking out for someone else, trying to help them and do something. And I confess that I'm probably more selfish at times than I would like to be.
Okay. You hit the nail on the head. We can end the podcast right there.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody.
No. Because, a lot of times the words are interchangeably used. And a kind person or kindness is a quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. It's the kindness of a kind act. So it is an act, right? And a nice person would be more, is pleasant or polite to others.
There you go.
Okay, so you basically hit the nail on the head. Like you'll say hi to somebody, and then you can be, if you do see somebody struggling with something, maybe you'll go over and help them or whatever, and that's the act of kindness.
Yeah.
So you're thinking about other people's feelings. A genuinely kind person doesn't expect anything in return for being kind or want any kind of recognition. So that was curious to me because I asked a few people when I started thinking about, somebody said to me that I was a very kind person. And I was like, I thought the same as you, Benny. It's so funny because I'm like, I don't think I'm a kind person. I actually think I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I'm kind. Like I look at somebody like my mom is very kind.
Yes.
I think Patty is very kind. But I don't see myself as a kind person. I don't have a lot of acts that I like you. If I happen to be in a place and I see, I did actually a few weeks ago, there was somebody asking somebody to help them with something on the top shelf of the grocery store. And that person that she asked for help couldn't even reach it. And I said, oh, let me help you. And I was able to get it down. Now that is an act of kindness. I was being nice, but also kind. So, but I, like you said, shamefully, I don't usually go out of my way to.
Well, and I think it more accurately, see, like both of us, we just said this. In my case, I think if I see something, it's pretty rare that I will like not go out and help somebody if I actually see it.
You're not going to run the other direction.
I'm not necessarily looking for
Right.
it. I go to the grocery store because I want to get my groceries and I want to leave. I'm not going to the grocery store because I'm thinking, oh, what an opportunity for me to be kind or
Right.
see people or connect.
Right.
And there's a part of me that kind of wishes that I was invisible so I could just do my work and leave. And partly because I don't want to pay for the groceries. But I'm kidding. No, but I'm just saying that whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm just thinking I'm very task oriented. And
Same.
if I can get my task done without much sometimes I feel horrible. I go to 24-hour fitness. Now, at CrossFit, it's designed to be a community. So the way they do things, you're community oriented. At 24-hour, because you're not with the same people like a lot, it's very easy just to put your head down and get your work done.
For sure.
And so I go there. Sometimes I'll do some what's it called? Barbell work because it's available immediately. I'm like, oh, I'll go do some of that. And then I go swim for a half hour. 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I swim 1,000 yards. And then, and so I'll go do that. What's funny is like, I mean, I'm not joking. I get there. I'm hoping to God that no one's in the pool, or at least there's room for me in the pool. I get my gear on, like I put my earplugs in, I put my goggles in. I go, if I have to share a lane, I say, is it okay if I share a lane? And they go, yeah. And then I just go back and forth. Literally, I just go back and forth. I
What
look at
else
my
would you
watch because I see them, and people are going and doing whatever, and they stop. Oh hi, this is like whatever,
right,
and I'm
right,
just
right,
like,
right.
just don't talk to me. I
Right.
want to swim.
Right.
I'm here to swim.
Yeah.
And then I think, okay, but I could be kind when I get out, because then I usually treat myself to like 10 minutes in the hot tub.
Yeah.
I put my headphones on and listen to a podcast or listen to
Right.
something else, because it's like, I don't know you people. Why am I
Yeah.
going to talk to you?
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a time that Valerie, what's your name again? Patty, that's my wife, and I we were there, and I saw this dude that looked like he was from England. He actually laughed at me because I said, I just was talking to Patty, and then I looked over him. I go, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "I'm from England." How did you know that? I didn't say a word to you, because he had an accent and
Yeah.
stuff. I go, "You just look like you weren't like." I really did think he was British.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're the first person that's ever done." And then we got in a conversation. So I actually am nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that was a kind gesture to talk to him, although he talked a lot.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think that there that is nice, and I think you and I are a lot alike in that way. I used to just walk up and not want to talk to anybody while grabbing my, every Friday I would go get my egg bites before work, and I wouldn't want to talk to anybody. I would just go, oh, look at my phone. Oh, look, they're ready. I'd walk up, knock on the window, got my stuff, and leave. Well, in the last couple months, I decided to go out and stand with the people that are waiting for theirs. I didn't take my phone with me so that I could actually talk to them. Now, I don't know if there's nothing kind in that. I was, being nice. I was trying to step out of my comfort zone and just have idle chatter with people. But
you know what?
I
You
also
talked about that at a few podcasts ago.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think that's the reason why I brought up the English dude.
Oh.
I'm not joking. I said, okay, I might as well talk to this
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
So
yeah.
I was with
it
my...
feels good too. And
I've never regretted talking to somebody, but it is it's not natural.
No, I totally, I get it. That's why I had to finally step out of my comfort zone and do it.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel so much better when I get in my car, go to work. Like, I feel like, I don't know. There's something about human connection, Some people just stand there on their phones and they don't want to, but then I'm like, I just interrupt them looking at their phone and say something. And then they look at me like, okay, please don't talk to me. I'm looking at my phone. Or
Right.
they start talking,
Right.
So, but going back to kindness, because this is wholehearted living. And I really feel like there should be more kind people in the world. I think we all can be nice. It's easy to just be a nice person, but having, a kind attitude and trying to serve, even if it's something simple, like it doesn't have to be, I have actually been in the line at Starbucks in a drive-through, got my coffee or whatever it is, and they go, oh, the person in front of you bought it. And I'm like, what? They go, yeah, a lot of people do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the nicest thing ever. Well, because they did that, I'm like, well, here, buy what they got. They go, they got 4 cups of coffee. They got 4 different drinks.
Buy the person
Yeah,
2 people
then
down.
can you just? But since I already said it, I was like, okay, that's fine. Let me do it. I'm gonna continue the trend. So and that felt really good. It did. But it doesn't have to always be a monetary thing. Pay it forward, right? It doesn't always have to be a monetary thing. You can. I just jotted a few things down. You can. You know what? Okay, I'm going to backtrack a little bit because we brought up Kelly, my sister-in-law, a few weeks ago, and it was so funny. She sent me a text the other day. Oh my God, you mentioned my name on the podcast. So Kelly, I'm mentioning your name again. But she does volunteer work where she takes older women or men. I'm assuming either or, to the grocery store or to a doctor's appointment.
Oh, nice.
Or whatever, because she is retired and she's like, well, I want to be able to do some things. I know she babysits her grandbabies on a couple days of the week, but she's like, I don't want to just have like days where I'm not doing anything. So that's
Right.
what she does. She'll do something like that where it doesn't necessarily cost any money to do that, maybe gas, but also, these people might be the only person that interacts with her all day long
Yeah.
because of where they
You
live
know
or
that
how
mom
they
and dad,
live.
they didn't talk about this in the last 2 weeks, but you know that mom and dad, they it's so funny. They're in their 80s, and they go to the senior citizen place to
entertain them or whatever.
entertain
Yeah.
the seniors.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they
are
said we're
seniors.
older
Yeah.
than many of the people
Yeah.
that they're going to volunteer
Yes.
with, but they have more energy.
They do,
And,
yeah.
and so they go there, and it's just interesting because of what you're saying is that they don't have, the seniors at that center don't have very much interaction with people. So they're so appreciative when people come.
Exactly. And that
do something
human
like that.
connection. So those are ways to just be kind, even just giving compliments. A lot of times you see, and I think I've talked about this before, but a lot of times you see somebody and you might go, oh, I like their shoes, or I like their hair color or style, whatever. But you think it, you don't say it. But to just say something kind to somebody, it could brighten that person's day. It could just totally
I am pretty good at that. I would say I'm pretty good at saying that, oh my gosh, you have such a beautiful smile, or God, you're just you're being so kind to us, or you're so sweet, or wow, you're so fun, or whatever it is. I mean, it's interesting. I'm not very PC. Most people have figured that out. And so the one thing is, it's helpful if I'm saying it to a woman with my wife there so that she's not freaking out and thinking that it's weird. But
well, see, that's interesting because just the other day, Mom and I were having coffee and a guy stopped, like he literally stopped us as we were walking to go sit down and said, you have the most, talking to me, you have the most beautiful skin, and your smile, and just going on and on and on. And I'm like, is this guy just being really nice, or is he
picking up on me?
Yeah. And I'm looking at Mom, like, and then she's like, oh, smiling, like, oh, she does, doesn't she? And I'm like, oh my God, Mom, stop, don't egg him on, because I don't. But
Do you want her phone number?
So I think that's very interesting that you just pointed that out. If you're doing that with Patty around, because a lot of times, it depending on how they're saying it or what they're saying, you're just like, okay, thank you so much. And if they keep, he kind of kept going.
If I say to a woman without, I will say I'm more cautious with women, but if I do say it to a woman and my wife's not around, I almost always preface it with, hey, first of all, I'm happily married. And then I say something just so that it's kind of like, this has nothing to do with that.
Right.
Just
right.
saying,
Right. My wife has a smile just like yours. No.
You look like a younger version of my wife. I've never said that. I've never ever said that. No, it's usually more of like I usually don't do it just from a beauty standpoint. It's more like just something that
vibrant.
They are.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes it might be with like their eyes, which really has nothing to do with them. I don't mean that to sound rude, but the truth is if your eyes are pretty, that's a God thing. Okay? You had nothing to do with that. So, we went to a coffee shop the other day, and this woman had young woman, and she's probably early 20s, right? And she had like pink on one side and yellow hair on another side, and it was all white. Was it like white hair? And she was a black woman, and very black, like completely black with this white. And so what am I saying is there was like this major contrast, and we both looked at her and we were like, oh my gosh, your hair is so beautiful. It's so fun. It was like, it was pretty. It was really, really pretty. But it was like, I mean, I think she took it like, oh, thank you. She thought it was really kind.
Yeah.
And then she really thought
exactly.
it was kind.
And, there was a woman that I work out with. In fact, today was her first day back to the gym since she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was diagnosed. She had chemo, radiation, and she had surgery. And then she would show, who, it's our friend Sandra.
Oh
yeah. So she is back at the gym today. She's got like, an inch of hair coming off her head, and her son was with her, and I was like, oh my God, Sandra. But when she was first diagnosed and she said she was going to stay away from the gym and just work out in her garage, and her son was with her all the time.
Yeah.
So I texted her one day and said, I will come get your son if he wants to work out at the gym, and so that he can continue working out if he wants to. And she goes, but I live all the way in Lawndale, and that's bad. I go, I don't care. Like, you're going through a lot. I will leave early. I will go get him and I can take him home. She goes, wow, that is the kindest thing. And so I didn't end up doing that. I remember seeing him a few weeks later there. I go, oh, you're here. And he goes, oh yeah, my dad dropped me off. He goes, gosh, I heard what you were going to do. That was so nice of you. And it was kind of me. No, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I didn't say that.
And then he
But
said,
he
well,
was-
thank God
yeah.
you really didn't call me on it.
No. He just said, my dad said he would drop me off when he could. And otherwise I'll work out. Like he didn't, he might've just felt uncomfortable
Yeah,
coming to get him
sure.
anyway. But that was something that I thought, wow, that's usually not something that I would do. I
Right.
don't usually extend that, but I was like, gosh, they're going to be going through a lot. And that's the least I could do as she's going through what she's going through.
In Missouri, I more than once picked up hitchhikers. I more than once
I don't know if I would do that.
did help people change their tires. And I would only take them I wouldn't drive them like to wherever they needed to go necessarily. I would take them to as far as I could take them and say, okay, this is what I can do. And then some people were super grateful and it was very easy and you just drop them off. And then there was other people that was like, you could tell that they were working the system because they would say things like, well, yeah, and they would say stuff like, well, I really, really need money. That's what I really need.
Yeah.
And I'd just kind of be like, dude, I don't got money. This is what I can do for you right now. And then, but I will say, I enjoy being kind, to use the terminology. I have to get out of my head. Every night I practice something. No, I'm going to say every night I try to practice something where I review my day. And I literally get on my knees. It's like a little prayer. And then I ask, and I read this little chapter. And what it asks is, were you selfish today? Where were you selfish? Is there something that you should talk to somebody about before you go to bed? Do you need to fix something before you do this? And I try to do that every single night. And sadly, there's too many nights where I go, yeah, I was pretty selfish today. It's like I didn't do something today. And that's I would prefer. Now I consider when you're doing this, I consider everything I do and I'm like going, that was a good thing, whether it be just answering a phone call from a friend and being kind to them or whatever it was, nice to them. I don't know what the word is. Anything that I could do. But the point is that when you start reviewing your day every single day and have that kind of a practice, you can really recognize what you do and don't do.
Right. So maybe because I started thinking about wanting to be more kind and not just nice. So maybe every day, maybe you could baby step it. Like, okay, I'm going to make sure that I do at least one kind thing this week. I know that sounds like you could probably do a kind thing every single day, but what I'm just saying is like, just mindfully make sure you do something kind. Like even I will make dinner and I will have, automatically just get up and go do the dishes and something. Peter will come in and say, oh, thank you so much for dinner. No, I got the dishes, and it's like, to me, that's a kind thing. Like I think just little things, it doesn't have to be this grand thing. You don't have to go bake cookies for your neighbor. Like, it's like just little acts of kindness,
Yeah. That's funny that you think baking cookies for your neighbor is a grand thing.
Well, what I mean is you don't, well, I don't mean that. I just mean
I'm getting what you're saying. No, and I totally agree. This is something, I've mentioned before that there's different practices that I do. I do something in the morning as well. But here's the thing that's interesting is that it's the fact of creating a discipline where you're saying I'm practicing something and I'm doing it on a regular basis. I think that's really the key is, and then what happens is when you start to do it, like I said, I do this thing at night. All of a sudden you start realizing when you're not being
exactly.
kind. And so even for Patty, Patty's right here, so I'm not going to lie. And she has to correct me, but it's like, even silly little things of, okay, Patty likes to make my old fashioned for me, which is super kind.
That is so kind.
It is. But then I think when she says, oh, do we have any ice? I go, we make this weird ice. It's not easy to get out. It's clear. It's cool. It's ba-da-da-da. It's not easy. And she doesn't like to do it. And so like, I'm thinking, I got to go do that. I got to get it ready and do it because she likes it. I get to go do it.
That.
But my point is that it's just like a little act of kindness. I know it sounds stupid, but it's very easy to say, "Oh, screw it."
Right.
I just
get the other ice.
Just do the other one. But it's like, no, we want the good stuff.
Right.
It looks better. It tastes better. It's better.
Right. It's just like you said in the very beginning. Like, you can be nice. You can be a nice person, but if you actually have the act of being kind, it's an act. And I don't mean act like you're, putting on a show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no. But what's interesting, I say there's in the 12-step programs, they say act your way into thinking correctly. Because a lot of people think I'm going to wait until I feel like it, or act your way into feeling like it, or whatever. I can't remember. I'm blanking out on what the phrase is. No, fake it till you make it is one of those things. So the idea is instead of waiting till you feel like it, do it, and all of a sudden the feelings start to come, because often we wait till we feel like it, and the truth is we never feel like it.
It's true. And also too, as I started thinking about this, because I did ask people, I think I said this in the beginning and I never told you what people said, but some people didn't realize there was a difference in between. They just said, it's the same thing. Why are you asking me if I feel like I'm kind or nice? Like, what do you think the difference is? And it was interesting that a lot of people just thought nice and kind were the same thing, and nice, and it is in a way, but there is an act with kind. It's not just being a nice person.
Right. That's what I would say. Yeah,
and
I agree.
also I read that there is, when I started doing a little research on being kind or being nice, when you do the act of kindness, there's actually something that goes on with your brain. It increases serotonin and dopamine, and those are neurotransmitters in your brain. And so that also changes your whole...
So those two things, for those of you that don't know, those two things directly affect depression.
Exactly.
They directly affect the idea of discipline. Like, am I going to continue to do something? Because dopamine and adrenaline, not the other, what's the other one called? Dopamine and serotonin. That's what's happening to you on Instagram. You're looking at that thing, and and they purposely create those things so that you could get so that you keep looking and keep looking and keep looking and keep looking. And the point is that if you can get it from something else that's way healthier,
and that's so basically what it says here, that kindness can increase your sense of connectivity with others, decrease loneliness, combat low mood, and improve relationships. So that goes along with, like, well, and here's another part. It can boost your mood, reduce stress, alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety. So just by boosting those things in the brain, those neurotransmitters, they have a positive effect on your health.
Absolutely.
And it also will have a positive effect on the person that you're being kind to.
So what's interesting is, folks, so if you're on antidepressants, for instance, that's exactly what it's doing. Is trying to give you those two chemicals, well, depending on which one you have. But most of the ones that you have are probably doing exactly that. They're trying to get it so that you get more serotonin, you get more dopamine, because that's how it's going to fight it for you. Now, why we're saying that, though, is that you could, I'm not saying to get off drugs. That's a question between you and your doctor and all that stuff. But we are saying that you can get that naturally simply by being kind. That's interesting.
Agree.
Medication.
Yeah, not drugs.
Medication. I shouldn't have said drugs. That's inappropriate.
Anyway, so I was very, when I read that, because I do feel good when I do something kind, and I do feel good when somebody does something kind for me. And so it was very interesting when I started, like, just kind of, what's the difference between kind and nice? And then I saw this brain thing, and that's always fascinating to me, because anything that can boost a mood, that's why I like to work out, because you get that boost of, serotonin and dopamine and stuff like that. And so it's like, just anything that you can do that helps you live healthy, happily, and wholeheartedly, I'm all in. Yeah. So I'm going to do something kind every single day.
Good.
From now on for the rest of my life.
Wow. No, but I think it's a great thing, because here's the big thing. Just like working out, and I would say this is your podcast, but I'm going to say this is your subject matter. But what's interesting is that now maybe some of you are out there listening and thinking, oh my God, they're always asking us to do something. Start small. Just like when we talk about working out and we say just go for a walk around the block. Start small with kindness, like, pay someone's rent. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Buy someone a car.
I would say, would literally say what she already said. Help someone bring their groceries up to their door.
Right. Walk a neighbor's pet that might be elderly. just pay a compliment. I mean,
and-
those are such simple things.
Yeah, pay a compliment is a
Yeah.
great thing because
Yeah.
it's simple and everybody can do it. And literally all you have to do is be on the lookout. And if you're thinking to yourself, and this is the key thing, if you're thinking to yourself, well, I never really have opportunity, I almost guarantee you it's because we're just not looking for it.
Oh, or you don't realize, or you don't even realize that you passed an opportunity by because you're not even thinking in that way. Again, I've said this probably 10 times on this podcast where I've seen somebody's shoes and just said, oh my God, those are so cute in my head.
Right.
But didn't say, oh my gosh, those are the cutest shoes.
Yeah.
You know? So if the thought comes to your head about something that's positive about someone that you're around or near or whatever, say it. Like,
That's
just
right.
say it.
Yeah, say it, be kind, go for it. I think everything that you do, and if you're wondering, it's not about the reward that you will get. I think you do get a reward, but the idea is because this is the other thing is that we have to be careful that we do it just because we're thinking I'm going to get a reward from it, because then if you don't get the reward, then all of a sudden, like if the person looks at you weird, then you kind of go, oh, I'm never going to do that again. But the truth is that most people are gonna, because I'm going to tell you, like when Patty and I go for a walk, this is the most bizarre thing to me. I don't know if I don't say it right, like if my English is bad, but Patty will say hi to people and they almost always go hi back to her. I'll say hi to people and they go, and they just walk by. I don't know if and so I don't know what it is, but there's something about me. I'll go hi, or I actually don't say hi though. I go, what do I say?
Afternoon.
I say howdy. I say howdy, or
But yeah, the
I
point
say,
is
but the point is they ignore
if
me.
they don't
and if Patty,
say hi back, don't stop saying hi to people.
yeah, it doesn't hurt. I didn't
Yeah.
hurt. They didn't turn around and smack me in the head.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just ignored me. And I have a feeling it's because just like we all do when you're walking around at 6 a.m., you're kind of thinking, I'm hoping I'm safe at some level. And so all of a
Sure.
sudden you see this stranger who's walking around, and me especially because I'm incredibly buff.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm bald, and I got a goatee, and and I got all my gang tattoos.
No, it's true though.
You can't be intimidating.
Oops. Yeah, I can be intimidating, so maybe that's the reason why they're thinking,
Yeah,
oh my
you
gosh,
walk
I hope
by
he
and
doesn't
say-
beat me.
you
I hope
walk
he
by-
doesn't beat me. And then I go, hi, and they go, oh my God, what does that happen?
Well, especially if you say howdy, like how intimidating is that?
Yeah, I say, I don't say howdy. What's the thing that I say? I always say,
How's it going?
no, I don't say that. I might say afternoon. Or actually, I probably wouldn't say that in the morning, though.
Yeah, if it's 6 a.m., that's weird.
Yeah, I say morning, hello. Hola.
Whatever. It doesn't even matter. Let's move on.
It matters. Let's talk about this for 20 more minutes. I'm just kidding. So I think it's great. I love the idea that we should be kind.
Yeah.
Kindness brings us joy
And
as
it
much
does,
as it brings the other
and
people.
just to reiterate what you just said about like not trying to get something out of it. When you're being kind, the real true act of kindness is doing it wholeheartedly and not expecting anything in return.
Yeah.
It's just an act of kindness. And so
What a trip it would be if everybody was
I
kind.
know exactly.
Yeah.
What a world.
So
What a world this would
let's change it right now.
Okay.
All right.
make it.
Knock on
Make it
knock
so.
on wood doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
So anyway, well, there you go. Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being here, my friends. I, again, have not posted anything on Instagram. I am so bad, but you can go follow us there. No, I'm going to be more faithful with that. I guess just because I do the my daily dose of cocoa, it's just very hard to navigate. both.
Yeah.
But-
And I will next week talk a little bit about my life, and you guys will understand. But yeah. But please do follow us. Please do check it out. Please do forward
Send
it
us
to other
DMs
people.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
send us DMs. We're at wholehearted_living_podcast.
Yeah.
So we would love to see you. Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, guys, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Ciao.